Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Tuesday, October 20th Working Group Component Standard Office Hours. This is our hour for folks to drop in, ask questions, and get help with what they are working on. I am Mike Toffin, and I will be hanging out in the channel. Good morning, Ameem. How are you?
Hey, how are you doing, Michael?
Good. What's up? How can I help?
Cool. So yeah, we have some open items from this conversation. I think the main one is the enhancement. People were there commenting, but I think we have one approval, but not much evolution on that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I think we're getting closer. Um, I think I want Jordan's approval on it more than anybody else's. Lucas seems like he's in favor of it. I guess he approved it. As he didn't slash approve it. He just like GitHub approved it. But yeah, I want Jordan's more than anyone else. I think he's the most careful person when it comes to API design.
okay. Should I ping him or
Yeah, just
try to
just
talk to him?
just ping him and say, hey, can you take a look at this? Also, I don't know if you saw um, one of the release managers commented and said that the format of KEPs has changed, um, and asked if we could update to whatever the new format is. So if you could take a look at that too.
I pushed that. I think it's a folder with a YAML and a MD separated.
Okay. You already did that?
No, I just saw the new format somewhere.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So yeah, just update to whatever the new thing is. I think that they've moved the metadata out to a separate file in the same folder instead of putting
Mm-hmm.
it at the top.
Okay. Mm. So yeah, okay. So I'll ping Jordan later.
Yeah. Overall, I think it's like I don't think we're gonna have to change much. Most of Lucas's questions were a little more downstream about like how like we can do things in the future. You said there were a couple things, maybe in addition to this cap, that you wanted help with, like instead of just the cap. Maybe I heard that wrong.
What's that?
Oh, I it's maybe my mic's not working. I heard you say that there were a couple things you wanted to talk about.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The next one is there is one PR open. Uh, they they have the flag. They agree to graduate the flags as the lock flag in the equivalent, but they asked people to add tests before graduating this because
Oh,
there's
I
not
saw
any
that was
tests.
Derek's comment. Let me find that one. Lock related flags. Okay, let's see. He said he's trying to remember use cases. I think Derek was also a little confused that like just because we have the comments about dynamic config on every field.
Yeah, but I think this is clarified later. I talk with him.
You did you already talk to Derek?
Yep. It's like a warning. He thought was related with the feature.
Right. Okay. Something called locomotive. Okay. Let's see. Okay, and then there's been nothing since that conversation. I guess they said that they're going to work on a test a week ago. So that's good. We could get an ETA. I'm going to ask them.
Yeah.
Uh, test. Please let us know the ETA. All right. We'll see if they can get us an ETA. Okay. Anything else going on?
No, I think those are the main things.
Okay, cool. Yeah, push Jordan for review and approval of it. I would like this to move forward.
Okay. Do you have something else in mind for this amount of things in the squad that I can help with, just to keep the momentum?
Just to keep busy while all this stuff is kind of spinning in review.
Yeah, because they're mostly locked, right?
Yeah, are there more kubelet flags to migrate? That's the first thing I would go to. It's just like see if you can bang out the rest of those for the migration.
I think we are missing. There are some PRs that are open, and people like just abandon the thing. Maybe I can ping them and get these flags, root certain other ones.
Yeah, and then if you want to start thinking about like the kubelet also has a bunch of flags that are related to container runtime interface configuration. They're like over in a separate file kind of registered over there, and we just haven't really dealt with them because it was just unclear like yeah, it's on the kubelet command line, like how do we want to deal with it in the config? We don't know. It would, if you want to like start looking at that, maybe get in touch with some people who work on CRI and just start thinking about, whether we should graduate those flags into kubelet config, maybe just in like a CRI substructure, or like how we want to deal with CRI config in general for kubelet. That would be a big step for the overall flag migration.
That's cool. I think CRI is graduating soon.
Yeah. So yeah, I would like to get those into like a config file if possible, but it's also we have to, one of the things we have to look at carefully is like what guarantees they provide around their API and make sure that we're aligned on whatever guarantees we provide for Kubelets API in terms of stability.
Okay. I'll double check the cap for the CRI graduation and see what we can extract from there or talk with the people there.
Yeah, and then just look at, let me see, let me see if I can find the file that it's in. Kubernetes. Okay. It's over here in this file, package kubelet config flags. I just sent it on Slack. So there's all these CRI flags, which could probably be moved to config options. So I think we just have to kind of check in and see what the stability is and whether it makes sense.
Okay. Should we open a task for it, or we continue on the main task, the umbrella task for the flags?
I would just open, I would just like ping people on Slack, or yeah, maybe open an issue if you think that's like a better way to have the discussion, or start a thread on the mailing list. Like you could also just do a PR to move them and then open the PR and have the discussion on the PR.
Okay.
Just call it a work in progress and say like, hey, we're considering this. Does this make sense? Like, are enough of these stable, etc.
Cool.
We could
I'll open the proposal.
Yeah, because we could basically move this entire container runtime options struct into like the kubelet component config API, and just include it in the config.
Okay, but you want to move this to the component base?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, it's under kubelet.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think that's a question we should discuss. I don't know if CRI has like a different, surface, or I just don't know. So maybe look into that. That would be a good next step to do.
Okay.
Is there anything you've seen that you're interested in?
I think this CRI stuff is cool. It's a good start.
Okay. Cool.
A good start. Not in the start anymore, but I don't know. Maybe if you have some other stuff. I'm not sure what other projects are open in the working group.
There's not a ton right now just because it hasn't been super active. We can go back. We can go back and look at the cap. There was like a bunch of stuff. I did have a list. There is actually stuff going on around controller runtime, and like them trying to figure out how to do component config for like controller host binaries. So Chris Hine has had a bunch of stuff. That might be a good way for you, like if you're interested in kind of broadening your experience, like that might be a good way to get involved with another area of the project as well. So I might reach out, you know, it might be worth you reaching out to Chris saying, hey, like, do you need help with anything related to the controller runtime component config stuff? You might also learn something from there that we could take back to controller managers component config, which is basically the same problem. That, you know, it's like the same overall architecture that you have like a host binary that hosts a bunch of different controllers all doing different things. And you somehow need to be able to provide configs for all those different controllers. So I like might be worth kind of reading through how Chris is approaching it, which is pretty different from how we've done it so far. And like seeing what ideas are good, what ideas are, we maybe want to bring back, or alternatively, like if there's a good idea, but it doesn't really fit how we've done things in controller manager, is there a way to like slightly change it so that it does work? So those are the two things I would look at and kind of dig into in the meantime.
That's good. Sounds a plan.
Cool.
Nice.
All right.
Okay. Nice to talk to you back, Michael.
Yeah, you too. I mean, take care.
Bye-bye.
Good luck. Let me know if you need help on anything.
Okay. Bye.
Take care.